All right, Triumph Street Twin, she's on, and I gotta say I've been pretty excited to ride this bike for a while. Already I can tell that this bike has more response than the T120. I might be making that up, but let's feel it out. So yeah, Triumph Bonneville Street Twin. This is basically sort of a gap bridger between the Thruxton and the likes of the T100. They make the T120, which is a 1200. They make the Street Twin, which is a 900, like this one. And then they make the T100, that is also a 900. The T100 feels a little bit less sporty than this. I definitely felt more of a forward seating position. And just already, the tuning of the throttle definitely feels way more aggressive on this bike, which surprises me. I did not expect this to be that different. Yeah, this is a very torquey bike. What's cool about these things too, they got traction controls, switchable, rider modes, road or rain, and overall it just feels like a pretty refined bike. You know, this feels like something that if you were gonna go set up a cafe racer from the 1980s or something, that, you know, maybe it'd be smarter to go with something like this that already runs really well. It's already a little bit more aggressive than some of its other counterparts, and a lot of aftermarket support. You can turn these bikes into a full cafe racer build. You can turn them into scramblers. Triumph has made so many different trims of this bike that, you know, you can find a lot of different parts out there. I like that they keep the clutch pull light on these all Bonnevilles so far that I've ridden, have been light clutch pulls. I don't know what it is about Harleys, but they just love to have a 20-pound clutch pull. So this is a very smooth motor, by the way, parallel twin in proper Triumph fashion. It's butter smooth. You definitely feel the low center of gravity when in a turn. It also makes it very stable at low speeds, which I like. You know, for a city bike, you're gonna be doing a lot of stop and go. Sometimes you don't want to put your feet down. Sometimes you can easily just keep the bike upright by letting the clutch do its thing a little bit, dragging some rear brake, and it always helps when the center of gravity is low, like this one. Let's test some highways out. Oh, some slip wanted to happen. Ah, got him. All right. So this bike, a lot like the T100, is a 5-speed, which is something to keep in mind of. If you're going to be doing a lot of highways, this might not work for you. But overall, 5th gear roll on, you know, speed limit on, see what happens. It's got some torque. I don't know if you saw that there, but I almost lost that that merge leg race with that VW Bug. So it's not the most powerful thing in the world. It's not like it's going to get out of the way of just about anything because of the overwhelming torque. No, not on the highway at least. It has plenty down low. Right off the bat, I would say the biggest difference between these two bikes, between the T100 that I literally just got my butt off of and this bike, is definitely the throttle response. The suspension feels very similar. Nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. Let's see where we fit in. I'm going right here. Let's see how she negotiates. One more down. Yeah, just fine. It's not going to be anything special on the track, but it'll definitely do something for you around the road. And maybe if you brought it to some regular twisties, you know, as long as you didn't go too crazy, this thing would be a ball. So yeah, very standard seating position. I will say, like, seat is not super comfortable. I just rode maybe 5 minutes and I'm starting to get some weird feelings on the butt, so I'm thinking that Thinking I can go with a little bit more of a comfortable seat. Even though it's fly-by-wire, it feels pretty natural to find the rev match and everything like that. Nothing feels too crazy. Yeah, this thing has plenty of torque down low, man. I wouldn't say this is too much for a beginner, honestly. I met a lot of beginners wanting to go for T100 street twins, but they're a little bit scared of the power, especially the number. That's really what it was the number 900. Sounded like a lot. You know, you look at MT-09s, Z900s, none of those bikes are beginner bikes. Then you look at a 1000 and that sounds strangely close to a 1900, just 100 cc's less. Why would I ever want to be a beginner on that bike? Well, I'm here to tell you that it does not quite work like that. It does also involve how many cylinders you have. If you only have one cylinder, you're gonna be running a 450 and it's pretty torquey, but no up top power. Now on this bike, it's a 900, almost 1000, but it's only a 2-cylinder. So grossly oversimplified, but for every cylinder you lose horsepower and weight, and you trade it for low-end torque. So in the case of like this, even though it's a 900, it's not super heavy, right? It's not 100, it's not 700 pounds, you know. And then even though it's a 900, it's not going to beat a 1000. It might get close to a 1000 right off the line for less than an 1/8 mile, but after that the 1000 is just going to blow its doors off. So this is not the likes of a 1000 4-cylinder. This is a 2-cylinder parallel twin 900, and I think with the power to weight that it has, it is a pretty manageable amount of speed. This is going to be more like starting off on a 600cc sport bike. This is not no 400. It's not super easy to start with. It still does have some weight, it still does have some torque, but how I will describe it is that if you have some respect of the bike, or if you're just a little bit older, a little bit more mature, you know that, hey, things do not just go full throttle right off the jump when you're learning and go well. No, you have to warm into it. You have to warm into the throttle, learn what you're doing, learn the technique. If you're the latter kind of guy, I would not sweat this bike at all. Obviously I think the biggest weakness would come down to weight. If you can pick the bike up, toss it between your legs, and you feel pretty confident that you won't drop it at a stoplight or something silly, then I think you'll be fine. Take your course, get your license, obviously. I always say that, but yeah, this is not a beginner killer. Just take some respect, take some practice. Hi Prius, what's up, man? Overall, first impressions about this bike, or final impressions about this bike, is it's smooth, it's comfortable. It's not as comfortable as the T100s. Definitely, you can notice that in the seat most of all. And yeah, I feel like it just kind of gives me sort of that edgy cafe racer style, rather than, you know, the laid back old man style, some would call it. So yeah, overall, I really like this bike. It's very smooth, like any other Triumph will be, which I prefer. Yeah, so final impressions, I really love this bike. Super smooth, it's comfortable. It does have some speed to it too. Come check her out online.